For more than 5,000 years, almost every civilization that learned to write agreed on where a dream comes from. And every one of them was pointing in exactly the wrong direction. Tonight, when you close your eyes, you'll go somewhere. You'll see faces, places, whole worlds. And you'll believe every second of it, right up until you wake. But for nearly all of human history, no one thought that place was inside you. The question was never what your dreams mean. The question is where they come from. And the answer is stranger than the people who first asked it could have known. Here is the thing that should stop you. It wasn't one culture, it was all of them. Egypt, Mesopotamia, Greece, China, separated by oceans, by languages, by gods that never met. And every single one asked the same question about the dream. Where did it come from? Inside you, or somewhere else? For 5,000 years, the answer came back the same. Outside, different temples, different names for it. One identical intuition that while you slept, something reached you. From beyond yourself, that much agreement between people who never spoke is not a coincidence, it's a signal. Start at the beginning, because the beginning of writing is also the beginning of this question. Around 2100 BC, in Mesopotamia, someone pressed into wet clay the oldest story humanity has ever found, the Epic of Gilgamesh. And it opens with a dream. Gilgamesh dreams of a meteor falling out of the sky, something he cannot move and cannot understand. He wakes and brings the dream to his mother, the goddess Ninsun, because of course you would. A dream was not a private event. It was a message that required an interpreter. The Mesopotamians kept whole tablets of them, dream omens, sorted by what each one foretold. Reference lists, so a scribe could look up what a falling star or a lost tooth meant. The way you would look up a word. The oldest story we have begins with a human being treating the inside of his own sleep as mail from somewhere else. 1,000 years later, Egypt didn't just believe in dream messages. It organized them. If you had a dream that mattered, you didn't roll over and forget it. You went to a temple built for one purpose, to receive a message from the gods while you slept. You purified yourself. You followed the ritual. You lay down inside, and a trained priest was waiting when you woke to tell you what you'd been told. We still have their manuals. In the reign of Ramesses II, around 1279 BC, a scribe in the workers' village of Deir el-Medina copied a dream book. More than 200 dreams, each sorted into good or bad. It reads like a government document. Detailed, practical, taken completely seriously by the most sophisticated civilization of its age. They weren't superstitious about dreams. They were administrative about them. Then the Greeks did something new with the same idea. They built the Asclepion, healing sanctuaries, the hospitals of their world, and the treatment was sleep. If you were sick, you slept inside the temple, and in the dream the god would come and tell you the cure, not warn you, not threaten you, diagnose you. At Epidaurus, the people who were healed carved their dreams into the temple stone. The vision, the cure, signed and left on the wall. Like a review you could read on your way in, notice the quiet shift. For Mesopotamia and Egypt, the dream was a message about your life. For the Greeks, the dream reached into your body and tried to fix it. The source was still outside. A god, a visitor, a power that came in the dark. But for the first time, the dream had a job that was physical. It was doing something to you. The door to the next idea had just opened. You might be ready to call all of this superstition. And historians still argue about how literally any of it was taken. But then, in the 4th century BC, a Chinese philosopher named Zhuangzi wrote a few sentences that have never stopped mattering. He dreamed he was a butterfly, happy, drifting, entirely a butterfly. And then he woke and was a man again. And he could not say which one was the dream. Was he a man who had dreamed he was a butterfly, or a butterfly, now dreaming he was a man? He wasn't asking where the dream came from. He was asking something far more dangerous. Whether the dreaming world might be just as real as this one. And once you've heard that question, you can't fully unhear it. And then around 350 BC, one man broke ranks with the entire human race. In a short treatise called On Dreams, Aristotle proposed something nobody on record had dared. What if the dream comes from no one? Not the gods, not the ancestors, not another world. What if a dream is simply the leftover motion of your own senses? The echoes of everything you saw and felt that day, still moving through you after your eyes have closed. He had no instruments, no way to look inside a sleeping head. He was reasoning in the dark, with nothing but the dark to go on, and he was right. He had just located the dream in the one place 5,000 years of human civilization had never thought to look. inside the dreamer. It would take the world more than 2,000 years to catch up to him. Step back and look at all of it at once. 4 civilizations, 3 continents, 4 different gods. And on the question of where a dream comes from, they agreed almost perfectly. Here's the paradox. The single most universal agreement in human history, the one belief that crossed every ocean and every language, was about the one thing that happens entirely inside the human skull, and every civilization that reached it pointed the wrong way. Outward, toward the sky, the gods, the realm beyond. The primitive answer and the advanced answer were never really fighting about what a dream is. They were fighting about a direction. And for 5,000 years, the arrow was reversed. The arrow turned in 1953. At the University of Chicago, 2 researchers, Eugene Asorinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman, watched a sleeping eye flick rapidly back and forth beneath the lid, and caught the brain doing something no one had ever measured. They had found REM sleep, the state where most vivid dreaming lives. They published it in the journal Science. That was 70 years ago. Not 700. After 5,000 years of asking, we have been able to watch a dream happen for less than a single human lifetime. And what we found would have unsettled every priest who ever interpreted one. The dream isn't switched off thinking. It's the brain at work. While you sleep, it replays the day and files it into long-term memory. And the dream may be what that sorting looks like, from the inside. It reprocesses your fears. Ravonsuo's threat simulation theory argues you evolved to dream, specifically to rehearse danger while it's safe. You'll spend around 2 hours of every night, inside one, stretched across a life. That's roughly 6 years, spent somewhere no instrument can follow you. But here is the part we don't say out loud often enough. We still cannot fully explain why you dream. Hobson and McCarley argued in 1977 it was almost noise, the mind improvising a story over random signals. The debate is not closed. We finally know where the dream comes from. We still don't entirely know what it's for. So tonight, when you fall asleep, your brain is going to do the exact thing the Egyptians built temples to reach. The thing Gilgamesh carried to his mother. The thing Aristotle stared into the dark to explain. They thought a message was arriving from somewhere outside them. They had the direction wrong. But they were not wrong. That something is reaching for you in there. Something is sorting your memories, rehearsing your fears, working on problems you never asked it to solve. Every single night, without your permission. The ancients felt that, and they pointed at the sky. It was never coming from the sky. It was coming from the one place they never thought to look. It was coming from inside you. The question Gilgamesh asked 4,000 years ago still hasn't been answered. It's just been moved from the sky to a few centimeters behind your eyes.